The House will come to order. It's my honor to call the House to order today for the purpose of hosting a joint convention of the House and Senate for the purpose of receiving the governor's message on the state of the state. Pursuant to custom, I'm now pleased to introduce Senate President Rob McCauley.
Thank you, Speaker Huffman. Is there a quorum of the Senate present? The chair recognizes President Pro Tem Senator Reineke.
Mr. President, there is a quorum of the Senate present.
Is there a quorum of the House present? The chair recognizes the Speaker Pro Tem, Representative Manning.
Mr. President, there is a quorum of the House present.
A quorum of the 136th General Assembly being present, this joint convention will come to order. We invite the color guard to bring the flags in, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. We invite our guests to remain standing as we open with prayer. We will be led in prayer today by Rabbi Gershon Avtson, the Rabbinical Yeshiva of Cincinnati.
We'll begin with an act of charity. Almighty God, Master of the universe, all three branches of the Ohio government gather here today. We begin this gathering by uniting in prayer, regardless of party and title, as we are all aware that it is only through you and your continuous gift of life that we exist and are able to perform our duties and responsibilities. Indeed, the official motto of the great state of Ohio is, with God, all things are possible. I pray that blessings be bestowed on the elected officials, members of the courts, and their families. While externally the work of making just laws could seem technical and at times political, in truth it is holy work. You, God Almighty, have given 7 commandments to all mankind after the great flood described in Genesis. Creating just legislation and fear enforcement is the one of the 7 that brings it all together. We are gathered today by divine providence on the eve of the holiday of Purim as described in the book of Esther. While distinctly a Jewish holiday, there are lessons that can be learned for all of humanity. One of these lessons is how to deal with darkness and evil. When the evil Haman threatened to annihilate the entire Jewish people, the righteous Mordecai put his energy and focus into gathering the young children and teaching them God's wisdom and instilling in them faith in the Creator, which transcends nature. That was the catalyst of the miraculous events that followed. When we live in a world where evil and anti-Semitism once again rears its ugly head, we must all respond by putting a focus on the education of our children. Their education must be infused with the realization that there is a higher power and authority. I pray with all my heart that teachers and school districts take advantage of Ohio law, which allows all schools to begin each day with a moment of silence, so that every child in the state can reflect on their inner morals and values. This type of education is the only real way to prevent crime and bigotry. The great spiritual leader of our generation, the Lubavitcher Rebbe Melech HaMashiach, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, has prophesied that the era of redemption is near. I pray that we all prepare by adding in acts of goodness and kindness. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you the Governor of the State of Ohio, Mike DeWine. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Mike DeWine.
Thanks, everybody. Please sit down. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Speaker Huffman, President McCauley, Leader Antonio Russo, members of the General Assembly, Chief Justice Kennedy, members of the Ohio Supreme Court, elected state officials, Lieutenant Governor Tressel, members of our cabinet, my fellow citizens of Ohio. The state of our state is strong. Ohio is strong. Together, we've accomplished so much in the last 6 years. We've hit the highest number of jobs ever in our state's history. We've added more than 81,000 private sector jobs and have nearly 5.7 million Ohioans right now employed in our workforce. And these job numbers don't even reflect the new jobs that will come soon from all the wins we have already announced. So for a moment, let's take a trip around Ohio and see what is being built right now. And we should think about all the new jobs that will come when this construction is completed. Start in Defiance County, where soon we'll see work start on the largest job creation project in Defiance County history, where First Quality Tissue will soon be employing 400 people in Northwest Ohio. From there, head southeast and we'll find a brand new soybean processing plant being erected in Wyandotte County with a $500 million investment from the Louis Dreyfus Company. The plant will create 114 new jobs that will help farmers in all the Northwest Ohio. Let's go to Dayton, where soon in the Miami Valley sky, we'll see air taxis actually flying in the air made by the 2,000 employees who will be at Joby Aviation. Keep going south. Keep going south. There's more to come. And east of Fayette County, to Honda's nearly complete electric vehicle battery factory. Set to open later this year, this plant will employ 2,200 of our fellow Ohioans. Further down the Cincinnati area, WorldPay, a leading global financial technology company, has picked Sims Township for its new corporate headquarters, bringing more than 500 new jobs to the state. And from there, we'll head east to Jackson and visit Speyside Bourbon Cooperage. Here, skilled Ohio craftsmen in southeast Ohio will be making even more charred white oak bourbon barrels. They will increase production from 400,000 barrels per year to 600,000 barrels per year, adding 42 new jobs in Jackson and Pike counties. And then follow the Ohio River upstream to Jefferson County, where JSW Steel will be adding 42 new jobs and retaining hundreds more as they upgrade their Mingo Junction steel plant to cleaner and higher quality specialty steel. And then, just 3 counties to the north, of course, is Ashtabula County, where PlastPro is investing almost $53 million to nearly double their fiberglass door manufacturing staff, adding 145 more jobs as they begin to make a brand new product line of Ohio-made interior doors. From there, we'll head downtown to downtown Cleveland, where now we see a whole different skyline, which is emerging with the completion of the new Sherwin-Williams skyscraper on Public Square. Their new headquarters soon will bring 400 jobs to downtown Cleveland. And then a short drive over to Brecksville takes us to their new Research and Development Center, which will bring an additional 132 jobs. Further west, Lorain County, we can see Ford Motor Company's Avon Lake expansion, as they double their workforce with 2,000 additional jobs. Now let's head back south to Pickaway County, where we had another remarkable economic win. Anduril, the world's new leader in defense technology. They're bringing the single largest job creation project in Ohio history, creating more than 4,000 high-paying manufacturing jobs. These Ohioans will produce cutting-edge technologies and build revolutionary aircraft that will transform both our aerospace industry and our military. And finally, we'll head back north and a little east to Licking County, the Silicon Heartland. Intel is completely changing the landscape. They've already invested $7 billion of their $28 billion of planned capital investment, already invested. And they poured enough concrete, listen to this, to build the Ohio State Horseshoe 6 times over. And that's just so far. The 3,000 future jobs there will make Ohio the world's leader in the manufacturing of microchips, critical to our innovation economy and to our national defense. This investment in Ohio is a clear signal to China and to the rest of the world that from now on, our essential manufactured products will be made in the United States of America, and once again, it will be Ohioans making the things that keep us safe. These are, and let me say this, these are just a few of our recent victories. Ohio's blessed with 350,000 construction workers. Please welcome to the chamber 2 of our fellow Ohioans who are today building Ohio's future. First is Mike Kimefsky, a 5th-year electrician apprentice from Akron. And next is Saisha Lewis Roberts, also from Akron, who is a member of the United Association of Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local 219. Will both of them please stand up? Thank you all. All right. To both of you, we thank you. And we thank all the skilled trades and craft workers in the state of Ohio. You do amazing work. Thank you for building this state. But there is more good news. 15 years ago, CNBC ranked Ohio 34th of the best states to conduct business. But today, we're ranked 7th nationally and 1st among our neighboring states. And even better, for the 2nd year in a row, Site Selection Magazine has ranked Ohio as the #1 state in the nation for infrastructure and economic development investment. This means that Ohio is doing more than any other state in the union to prepare for future job growth. We are prepared for the future. Our income tax rates are the lowest today that they have been in over 50 years. And companies are coming here because of our exceedingly business-friendly regulatory environment. Since taking office, we've created a culture in our agencies. It's not a gotcha culture at all, but one where we help business get from point A to point B. And in partnership with all of you, all of our agencies have reduced their rules by 30%, and we will continue these efforts to ease the burdens on business and streamline our government. And further, we have sliced more than 930 Ohio regulations and at least 2.3 million words from the administrative code. Our proposed budget will slash another 2.3 million words and delete 3,200 additional unnecessary rules, and there is more to do. Let's talk for a moment about energy. We all know how important that is. We also have successfully fought the federal regulatory process to get energy to both Ohio businesses and homes much faster than that was taking place before. And our proposed budget will make it easier for energy generators to provide power directly to Ohio businesses. What we've all done together in Ohio is just amazing. These were not empty promises when we talked about this. These are tangible results. While we celebrate our victories, the job of the governor is also to point out our state's unfinished business. And let me do that now. But first, our goal remains the same: to work each day so that every single Ohioan has the tools to live up to their full potential and has the opportunities to live their version of the American dream. That's our goal every single day. To do that, we must remove the barriers preventing Ohioans from entering the workforce. That means we must make sure all Ohioans receive a good education, starting with learning how to read. And we must do all in our power to build a system that enables every Ohioan who has a mental health challenge or an addiction problem to receive the care that they need, and to receive that right in their home community. That's our job, and we're making progress. For the truth is, we cannot achieve our full potential as a state unless each Ohioan first achieves theirs. Workforce remains both our greatest opportunity and our most significant challenge. Together, we've created all these incredible economic opportunities and new jobs in Ohio. But now our mission as a state is to act with great urgency and intense focus on filling these jobs. That's why I've asked Ohio's new Lieutenant Governor, Jim Tressel, to lead an exciting and innovative new effort to create Ohio's workforce playbook. Lieutenant Governor, Mrs. Tressel, I ask you to stand up in the gallery. I want to take a moment to thank the Lieutenant Governor, to thank Ellen, who is in the gallery with Fran, for joining our team. We are thrilled to have the Tressels by our side as we continue to move the ball towards the goal line. They are a real partnership. Got to do a couple of those guys, come on. They're a real partnership. Ellen has her own distinguished career in business and also understands the workforce needs of Ohio. Lieutenant Governor has been a leader in every job he has ever held. I saw that up close during his 9 years running Youngstown State University as his president. He knows education, he knows workforce, and he knows Ohio. Ohio's workforce playbook is really the logical extension of our economic success. Lieutenant Governor is ready, and he's ready to help clear the barriers holding Ohioans back. And he's ready to recruit everyone we can onto our Ohio workforce team. And so I'm asking the Lieutenant Governor to focus on identifying the job, skill set, education, and talent needs in each separate region of the state. In doing this, The Lieutenant Governor will bring people together. He will work closely with our four-year universities and colleges, our career technical schools, our state agencies, as well as local businesses and leaders, and develop a regional strategy that meets the specific needs of each region of the state. He will focus on how we will produce enough workers to meet those needs, as we have talked about, as we strive to retain homegrown talent, recruit new talent into Ohio, and also rally our existing workforce. Let's now look at the Ohioans who we can help seize more opportunities by removing the roadblocks that slow them down. Let's start first with Ohioans with disabilities. We need them on our workforce team. Our state agency, Opportunities for Ohioans with Disability, known as OOD, serves Ohioans with disabilities and helps them get and keep jobs. Since the start of our administration, with your help, we have helped almost 32,000 Ohioans with disabilities to reach their goal of employment. To parents of students with disabilities across our state, we want your child to live up to their full potential and to know that we have the services to assist you and your child on a career plan and to achieve your goals. Make sure you're talking with your high school to get access to OOD career counselors who can help your child find a path to employment or to higher education. Meet with these counselors, include them in your IEP meetings, and take advantage of this service. OOD has guided Kelsey Weaver, for example, throughout her educational journey. Originally from Martins Ferry in Belmont County, Kelsey has spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy. OOD has provided her with the essential career assessment, assisted technology, and job readiness training that have ultimately enabled her to complete her college degree and pursue her passion for helping others. Today, Kelsey lives in Waterville and Lucas County, works as a social worker at Clearwater Council of Governments. I'm so happy and very pleased to have Kelsey here with us today on the House floor. Will you please give her a round of applause? We're very proud of you, Kelsey. We also need those who used to be in prison. We need them in our workforce team as well. That's why we're encouraging Ohio employers to hire those re-entering the workforce after incarceration. The Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction releases about 18,000 people back into society each year. And it's in all of our interest to get them into the workforce, which is why we are proactively preparing inmates for reentry through specialized job training for Ohio's now most in-demand industries. Our trained ex-offenders want to work. I say to the employers in Ohio, give them a chance. Help them find. Help them find the dignity, purpose, and hope that comes with a job. When I was in high school, I had my own experience working closely, day after day, with a man who had spent 18 years in prison. His name was Leonard Steele. he was one of the hardest working people I ever met in my life. And no one had a bigger heart than he did. There are a lot of Leonard Steeles in Ohio today. A lot of people who have paid their debt to society, and they just need to be given a chance to go to work. There are a number of tremendous programs run by nonprofit organizations across Ohio to help the formerly incarcerated assimilate back into the community and into a job. Edwin's Leadership and Restaurant Institute is doing some incredible work, and it's really a model, not just for Ohio, but for the nation. Edwin's is a nonprofit in Cleveland that offers formerly incarcerated adults training and hands-on work experience in the culinary and hospitality industries. Brandon Krustowski, the founder of Edwin's, operates on the belief that, and I quote, "Every human being, regardless of their past, has a right to a fair and equal future." And he is right about that. Fran and I got to know Brandon when we had Edwin's cater an event we hosted for other governors. We're so pleased that he is with us today in the gallery. Brandon, will you please stand, and thank you for the good that you are doing. Right back there, guys. Thanks, Brandon. We also need on our workforce team Ohio youth who have been in state custody with the Department of Youth Services. Each DYS facility helps youth with job interview preparation, resume writing, job search availability to prepare youth for when they leave custody and return back to their communities. Through such efforts, DYS has prepared many young people who today have purpose and are very productive citizens of our state. We've prepared them to make a living with good wages in construction, landscaping, retail, warehouse work, the food service industry, and even one youth who has recently become a licensed barber. All of the above. But not only do we need these young people on our workforce team, we also need our retired Ohio Buckeyes. And as our state's population ages, older residents will be vital to growing our workforce and stimulating our economy. And so I say to our employers, don't forget that our seniors are a hidden gem and are often an untapped resource. They're experienced, they're skilled, and they have a strong, strong work ethic. Let me now turn to Ohioans with mental health challenges. We need Ohioans who are in recovery on our workforce team, too. To address addiction and mental health challenges in Ohio, all of us, and you should be very proud of this, all of us working together, and this is just a brief summary. 1, we've reduced drug overdose deaths by 9% in Ohio, while the national rate only dropped by 2%. And we have a ways to go, but we're making progress. We've opened Ohio's first new state behavioral health hospital in nearly a decade, and we have plans to build more. We've helped construct or expand 11 pediatric behavioral health facilities, which serve more than 100,000 youth just since last year. And since July 2022, we've answered more than 400,000 calls, texts, and chats to Ohio's 988 crisis and suicide lifeline. And that's an average of more than 18,000 communications each and every month. We've attracted more than 2,100 behavioral health professionals into the field since 2022 through our Great Minds program. We've served nearly 16,000 youth and families since 2019 through our mobile crisis services. And since the start of our administration in 2019, we've treated nearly 50,000 men and women with substance use disorders who at that time were in one of Ohio's 28 prisons. Now, despite these significant efforts and progress, stigma, sadly, often remains when it comes to hiring someone with a serious mental health or someone once addicted to fentanyl. These Ohioans can work. These Ohioans can contribute. Someone who has been in recovery for many years from drug addiction is often the best person to help others trying to get into recovery. And that's why we're investing in certified peer supporters. It's a pathway to employment for individuals who have personal experience with behavioral health challenges or who have helped someone with similar challenges to navigate services. They, in turn, can help others. Peer supporters really are becoming a whole new workforce. Since 2019, we've helped more than 6,400 Ohioans successfully complete that training, and they now work in a variety of settings, including HR departments, hospitals, jails, veterans' homes, treatment centers, recovery housing, and as part of crisis response teams. One of the peers creating better outcomes for Ohioans is Laurel Riddenhauer, a certified peer supporter with Hope Recovery Community, where she works with families in our Ohio START program through Medina County's Office of Job and Family Services. Laurel knows what it's like for parents struggling with substance abuse disorder because she used to be one. After time in prison and a winding road to recovery, she's now employed as a peer supporter and works to engage families in treatment so they can reunify with their children. Laurel is with us today. Will you please stand, Laurel? Laurel, your resilience is inspiring. Give her a round of applause. Thank you, Laurel. Laurel understands the deep trauma that children and families face when kids are placed into the custody of Children's Services. So now let's talk about Children's Services. Let's talk about those kids. Children in foster care are among our most vulnerable Ohioans, and we have a moral obligation to help them. Today in Ohio, we have the lowest number of children in foster care since 2016, and that's great. Yet, all too often when a child is taken from their parents' custody or public children's service agencies still have nowhere to place these kids, sometimes leaving them to spend the night in a hotel or in a county office. These are our children. They've already endured a great deal of trauma. Surely, we can do better than this. I'm so very grateful to all of you for your support in taking meaningful steps to do better by these kids. Through continued investment in local children's services and with our planned creation, this budget, of regional child wellness campuses, we will work to ensure that no child is ever left without care. These new wellness campuses will provide safe, supportive environments for children when they cannot be with their families, keeping them close to home, connected to treatment, and on the best path towards reunification or independence. At the same time, we remain fully committed to Ohio Rise, our program that coordinates care to serve the kids with the most complex physical and behavioral health needs. Ohio Rise now serves 42,000 youth. They serve them by getting them the specialized help they need and by keeping families together. All of these Ohioans I've just talked about, children in foster care, youth who have been in the justice system, retired Ohioans, individuals with disabilities, adults who used to be in prison, and also those who are in recovery, all of them deserve the chance to live up to their God-given potential and to lead healthy, productive, and meaningful lives. And guess what? We need all of them on our workforce team as well. We know that the key to success in life is the ability to read. No one recognizes that more than my bride of 50, almost 58 years, my wife, Fran, First Lady Fran DeWine, who's up there in the front row. As you could see, I was having trouble with that 58, but moving towards it. Because of Fran's dedication to expanding Dolly Parton's Imagination Library in Ohio. Today, 70% of Ohio households who have a child under the age of 5 are getting a free book in the mail each and every month. And since the start of our administration, listen to this, more than 20 million free books have been mailed to Ohio children. As Fran and I have traveled around the state and talked to young families, so many of them tell us that receiving these books each month has changed their bedtime routine. They're reading more to their children, and they tell us their children are asking them to read to them more. Receiving these books results in families bonding more and helps more children get prepared for kindergarten. Fran and I want to thank all of you in the General Assembly for your belief in this program. We also want to thank our local partners around the state who raise part of the money and who ask parents every day to sign their kids up for these books. We also know that the very best method for teaching young children how to read is the science of reading, which goes back to the basics of phonics and sounding words out. Members of the General Assembly, 2 years ago I asked for your help to bring the science of reading to every school in Ohio, and even to our colleges and universities as they train our next generation of teachers. We're already seeing encouraging signs. This year's school report cards showed significant improvement in English language arts proficiency among elementary students, climbing by 2.2 percentage points among Ohio third graders, 5.2 percentage points among our fourth graders, and 3.1 percentage points among fifth graders. We are moving in the right direction. Every day, more schools are becoming fully aligned with the science of reading. And while this kind of fundamental change, foundational change really, is not easy and takes time, it takes perseverance, it takes persistence, the rewards will be so well worth the effort. As more of our children become proficient in the essential life skill of reading, they will be more prepared to thrive in the classroom, in the workforce, and in life. We're currently providing literacy coaches to support teachers in our lowest performing schools to implement the science of reading. Our budget continues this program. And when students are falling behind, our budget requires districts with low rates of proficient readers to focus more of their dollars on teaching children how to read. Schools that are improving literacy instruction and outcome for Ohio students need to be recognized. They need to be celebrated. And so today I'm happy to announce that some of our high-achieving schools across Ohio will soon be honored through our new Governor's Science of Reading Recognition program. This program honors schools that are totally aligned with the science of reading, where teachers have fully embraced the training, and where students' reading scores are improving. Now, we've selected a little over 40 schools across Ohio that we will soon be honoring. That includes the Austintown Elementary School in Mahoning County. Their focus on literacy achievement is making a real difference for their kids. In 2 years, they more than doubled the number of kindergarten students who are on track with reading. And the district's third grade reading proficiency rate is now at nearly 84%, which is 12 percentage points higher than their pre-pandemic levels. Austintown Superintendent Timothy Kelty and Austintown Elementary Principal Catherine Dorbish are with us today in the gallery. Let's give them and all the teachers at Austintown Elementary a round of applause for their commitment. Congratulations. Today's school-age children in Ohio, as they have been for many years, are required to receive vision screenings at school. Screenings. Yet shockingly, only a fourth of the students who are found to need additional vision care, whether that be a comprehensive eye exam or glasses, actually ever receive that. That leaves tens of thousands of Ohio children behind in school, not being able to see as well as they should. This is wrong. We have to change this. Last year, we announced the creation of a workforce, Children's Vision Strike Force, to develop Ohio's first ever statewide plan to ensure that every Ohio child who needs glasses will get glasses. Now, we have taken their recommendations, and we're very pleased to announce today the creation of the new Ohio See program. This innovative program will focus on children at an age when vision is critical to learning to read. It will ensure that all Ohio students in kindergarten through third grade, including those who may be homeschooled or attend private schools, will not only get a vision screening, but they will also receive comprehensive eye exams if the screenings indicate a correction is needed. And if it turns out they do need glasses, they will get glasses. We anticipate that through Ohio See, more than 33,000 children will be served in Ohio over the next 2 years, including children like Sharnetta Lyles, a sixth grader at Medina Middle School here in Columbus City School District. Her school nurse referred Sharnetta to the Nationwide Children's Hospital school-based eye clinic following a vision screening at school. Sharnetta had been struggling in school, but she had never seen an eye doctor. But once she got a comprehensive eye exam, it was clear she needed eyeglasses. She got them. And then a whole new world opened up. Sharnetta had been living in a blur for a very long time, and suddenly everything came into focus. She was understandably emotional leaving the clinic with her new glasses. The staff asked what was wrong with her. What's wrong? She said, I can see clearly now. I'm just taking it all in. Sharnetta and her mother, Shirley, are with us today on the House floor. Thank you, guys. Just give them a hand. Thank you all. Our Ohio See program is modeled in part after the amazing work of the nonprofit organization Sight for All United in the Mahoning Valley. They were instrumental in helping Jackson James see better and ultimately read better too. When Jackson, a second grader at Jefferson Elementary in Warren, Ohio, first met with Sight for All United, he was severely farsighted and had a drifting eye. His vision problems were causing him to slip far behind his peers in reading. But after getting eye surgery, Jackson now thrives in reading and was recently recognized at school, not just for reaching his reading goal, but by surpassing that reading goal. Jackson is also with us today. Jackson, please stand so we can give you a round of applause. Ohio See will change lives. And I ask the members of the General Assembly for your support of this program. Equally important, though, is dental care. Poor dental care health can make it hard for a child to eat, sleep, even talk, let alone learn. It's clear that many Ohio children have untreated serious dental problems that follow them into adulthood. We must step up for these kids. That's why our budget establishes our new Children's Dental Services pilot program. We'll start by serving children in 9 Ohio counties that are designated as dental health professional shortage areas and also that lack nonprofit dental facilities to to provide care to low-income families. We'll partner with dental professionals, those who live in the community, and school districts to deploy dental programs directly into school, providing screenings, preventive care, and treatment to children who need these services the most. I ask for your support of this program as well. Now let me turn to school-based clinics. They are another way that schools across Ohio are helping students get proper medical care so they can focus and they can learn. These clinics work when schools partner with a local health care provider. And we've seen how these clinics can, in fact, be self-sustaining. We'll have a model, and we will show schools how to do it. So I urge all Ohio school superintendents to reach out to the Ohio Department of Education, reach out to Steve Dakin, and we will walk you through the process, step by step. We know that schools are the center of our communities. And these clinics are cost-effective, and they bring primary care directly into the school where everyone can have access to it. Just look at 12-year-old Kylie Wainscott, a fifth grader at Warner Middle School in Xenia. She visited her school-based health clinic with speech and hearing concerns. The clinic set her up with ENT and audiology specialists, and now she has hearing aids. Kylie's hearing has been greatly improved. Today she can hear her teachers, and her grades in school have gone up. We're so happy to have Kylie with us today in the gallery. Kylie, please stand up so we can give you a round of applause. Kylie. Addiction to screen time and the nonstop barrage of notifications rob our children of precious time to learn from their teachers during the school day. I want to thank Senator Andy Brenner, Representative Tracy Richardson, former Representative Jessica Miranda, for their unrelenting work to pass a bill, which I signed into law in May, to require all schools to implement policies to address the use of cell phones in schools. I also want to thank our schools, our parents, our communities, and especially Ohio's former Lieutenant Governor and now Ohio's U.S. Senator, John Husted. I want to thank John, I want to thank his wife Tina for their early leadership on this very, very important issue. Tina is with us today in the gallery, and let's give her and John a round of applause. We have heard repeatedly from teachers, principals, school board members, superintendents, and parents who tell us that when cell phones were banned during the school day in their school, the school transformed before their very eyes. Kids are focused in the classroom, and the sound of laughter and banter echo throughout the lunchroom. These kids are actually talking to each other instead of having their heads down buried in their phones. Tays Valley Local School District in Pickaway County implemented a policy where students lock their phones in pouches during the school day, and the results have been profound. Superintendent Kyle Wolf told us that student engagement and attendance have both greatly improved. Grades are better. Socialization is improving and becoming more positive. The number of students being disciplined was cut nearly in half almost instantly, and even communication between students and teachers has improved because they have more opportunities simply to interact with each other. I want to thank Superintendent Wolf for having the courage to say enough is enough. He is here today with us, so let's give him a round of applause as well. What is happening in Tays Valley is happening in school buildings all across Ohio that have banned phones during school hours. As a country and as a state, we have learned a lot, and we've learned a lot more even in this last year. And the evidence today is so much stronger than it was even when the bill was passed. The evidence is overwhelming. As I've said before, as an old prosecutor, the juries came back. There was a verdict. And so, my fellow citizens of Ohio, members of the General Assembly, it's time to finish the job and ban cell phones in all Ohio schools so kids can learn. I ask you to approve the language in our budget to put an end to cell phone use during school hours in all Ohio school districts, to give the precious time during the school day back to our kids so they can learn and teachers can teach. For too many working parents, balancing work and childcare has become very difficult. Our budget continues our significant investment in helping more parents go to work and have then the peace of mind that their child is being well cared for and is learning. Together, through our Child Care Choice Voucher Program, we've expanded access to quality child health care support to assist families up to 200% of the federal poverty level. This program has been around for only 10 months, but already 5,100 more Ohio families and 7,700 more children are getting the child care that they need. I ask the members of the General Assembly for your continued support of this, because our voucher program, really an education and workforce program, is making a significant positive impact on young children and working families throughout the state of Ohio. Today, more than ever, young families are feeling financially constrained. And so every Ohio child under the age of 7 in our budget, we're going to give working parents a $1,000 tax credit to ease the financial burdens of raising a family. This will help parents fund child care or health care, pay for groceries, diapers, rent, any other costs. It will help them as they create the family of their dreams. And it will help Ohio get more parents also onto our workforce team. Now, I've heard it said that teaching is the greatest act of optimism because teachers believe in a better future and they have faith in the ability of every student. Put a good teacher in the classroom and kids will learn. Few things make more of a difference in a young student's life than the impact of a truly outstanding teacher. Countless teachers across Ohio pour their heart and their soul into this work and into their students every single day. In the gallery today with us are Ohio's 2025 Teachers of the Year. Please stand. We are grateful for what you do. Thank you so much. We are very grateful. A school principal has the power to transform the culture at a school and improve outcomes. That's why our budget establishes the Ohio Principal Apprenticeship Program. This 2-year training program will match aspiring principals with veteran principals to better prepare them to embrace the challenges of school leadership so they can create the conditions for students, teachers, and staff alike to thrive. Another goal of education should be to develop good citizens. An essential part of that is the teaching of basic critical thinking skills, being curious, asking questions, making arguments, and supporting a position with solid facts and evidence. Martin Luther King put it best when he said, and I quote, "Education must enable one to sift and weigh evidence, to discern the true from the false, the real from the unreal, and the facts from the fiction. The function of education, therefore, is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. End of quote. To promote critical thinking and open dialogue on our college campuses, we took a major step in our last budget, along with the General Assembly and higher education leaders, by creating 5 new centers for civic culture and society, one at Miami, one at Ohio State, University of Toledo, Cleveland State, and Wright State. I want to thank President McCauley for his leadership in this, and also Senator Jerry Serino for leading the way on this effort. And I'm pleased that leaders from the new civic centers are with us today in the gallery. Please also stand so we can give you a round of applause. Thank you very much. Well before college, though, and exposure to places like the civic centers, we know that teaching children critical thinking skills most often comes through classes in history, English, civics, social studies. Earlier this year, I sat down with a number of high school and elementary school social studies teachers from across Ohio. What a dedicated group of teachers. They told me one of the biggest challenges they see is that too many kids are simply not being exposed to enough social studies content, especially in elementary school. We intend to change that by putting a deliberate focus on civics, social studies, American history, Ohio history. The best place to start is in the elementary grades by embedding social studies content directly into materials that teachers use to teach reading and writing skills. And so I'm directing the Department of Education and Workforce to develop such a model curriculum. I'm asking the General Assembly to support that effort in our budget as well. Further, we're going to increase our kids' exposure to Ohio history. Today, students receive the majority of their Ohio history education in 4th grade. Instead, we're going to expose kids to our state's history in every grade, starting in kindergarten. I thank the Ohio History Connection for serving as a terrific partner in this effort by supplying schools with excellent teaching materials. They share our pride in our state's rich history and the vital role our state has played in the development of this great country. Now today, too many Ohio children are driving on roads without any training. Fran and I have heard from parents all over the state. They tell us, and we know from experience with our own kids, that driver training programs in Ohio are either not available at all or not available nearby. And if they are available, the courses are often too costly, putting this training out of reach for many, many Ohio families. Because of this, many teens are waiting until they're 18 to get their license, which is the age at which training is no longer required. The result is there are more crashes, more fatalities among 18 and 19-year-old drivers than there are among 16 or 17-year-old drivers. Further, if a teen waits until age 18 or 19 to get a driver's license, many high school students will miss valuable opportunities to get a job, an internship, or other work-related learning experiences when they're still in school. Schools are the logical and most accessible places for teens to learn how to drive. Yet very few schools currently offer driver's education. We need to change that. Our budget helps schools partner with independent driver training schools or to start their own driver training programs. With the support of the General Assembly and allocating a permanent revenue stream, all Ohio schools will have the opportunity to receive funding to make driver training available to their students. We're going to make driver's training affordable. We're going to bring it directly to students. We're going to enable teenagers to get jobs and internships, and we will save lives by doing this. My friends, with our help, it's time to put driver's education back into our high schools. Learning basic life skills is so essential to succeeding in work and life. Before you can decide on a career or educational path, you need to first understand who you are, what are your interests, what are you good at, what's your passion. Are you resilient? Are you hardworking, grateful? Do you have a purpose or a goal in your life? But far too often when young people are interviewing for jobs or starting out in their careers, it isn't that they lack the talent. Rather, they may lack practical life skills, things such as time management, how to get along with others, how to stay on task, problem solving, teamwork, resilience, adaptability, curiosity, creativity. It's all the non-technical skills and traits related to how you work that are part of any workplace. Kids need to be ready for life in the real world after graduation. They need to learn to overcome adversity and develop a work ethic and the grit and determination that goes with that. They need to know how to make a budget, how to pay bills, what to do in an emergency. And they must understand the importance of fulfilling their civic duties. And that, of course, includes voting. Further, they need to learn basic first aid, how to prepare a simple meal, understand nutrition, dietary needs, and the importance of physical fitness. Now, speaking of physical fitness, stay tuned for a future announcement as I have asked Lieutenant Governor Tressel to lead a statewide initiative to promote fitness in our schools. More on that, though, more on that to come. But lacking these skills is a barrier to employment, but it's also a barrier, frankly, to a happy and successful life. That is why I am directing the Department of Education and Workforce to review the state's learning standards and model curriculum to emphasize the development of practical life skills. The department will report back to me and back to you with recommendations to make sure that we're adequately focusing on these essential skills in our schools. Just as basic life skills are important, so is a student's ability to participate in sports and other extracurricular activities that teach so many important lessons. I want to take a moment to talk about how we can help make sure that no Ohio student is denied the chance to participate because they can't afford fees or equipment. Now, we love our sports in Ohio. We love our teams. For decades, we've used general fund dollars to help with the building or renovation of ballparks and stadiums. These sports facilities are spread all over Ohio. They include the Toledo Mud Hens, Lake County Captains, Lake Erie Crushers, Akron Rubber Ducks, Dayton Dragons, Chillicothe Paints, and more and more and more. They're everywhere. The way the state has historically assisted these facilities means that that money competes for dollars with education, mental health, and many other vitally items in our budget. Vitally important things. We now, with the budget I presented to you, have an opportunity to stop using our general fund dollars to build or renovate ballparks and stadiums. My proposed increase on online sports gaming companies will allow us to do this and also allow us to help kids to afford to play sports and participate in other activities in their schools. Many times the opportunity to participate in sports or theater, band, other activities are frankly the only things that kids are really excited about. In some cases, the only thing keeping that child in school. The language in our budget proposal is truly a win-win. I'm asking you to take a hard look at that. I'm asking you to do it. It is a win for everybody. Too many Ohio students graduate from high school without a plan for their future, both what they want to do and how to get there. Equally troubling is that many students also lack a trusted adult who can help guide them in these important decisions. Our budget addresses this by integrating career planning into existing high school graduation plans to help students map out their goals and identify the education or training needed to achieve these goals. We know that this will make a difference. Take Alexis White, for example, a junior at Fort Fry High School. Her involvement in 4-H, FFA ignited her passion for agricultural communications. Through an internship at Campbell Farms and other opportunities with local agriculture media outlets, Alexis discovered her calling to combine her love of agriculture with her talent for telling a story. Alexis is with us today. Alexis, will you please stand? Let's give her a hand. Thanks, Alexis. Career technical education in Ohio is thriving, and I want to take a moment to thank all of you for your generous support in our past budgets. Over the last 4 years, we've seen a 10% growth in the number of students participating in career tech. That's over 13,000 more students earning credentials and engaging in career tech education than in 2021. Let me tell you about Drew Corbett's career tech path. Drew was a great student at Jonathan Alder High School in Plain City. He played sports, was an active member of the school community. When his mother, Kathy, started working at Toll's Career and Technical Center, Drew got a healthy nudge to apply at Toll's for engineering. At first, Drew wasn't thrilled about leaving his friends for 2.5 hours a day, but he trusted his mom, and he knew he could still stay involved in his extracurricular activities at the school. During his senior year, he landed a great-paying internship at Heichmann Pharmaceutical Company in Columbus, where he got real work experience that solidified his choice to continue his education at the University of Cincinnati for chemical engineering. Drew, will you please stand up? Thank you, Drew. Thanks, Drew. For students who see college as their pathway to a career, it's so important to expose them to all the great colleges and universities we have right here in the state of Ohio. Thanks to the General Assembly's strong support, last year we were able to award the very first Governor's Merit Scholarship to graduating seniors who are in the top 5% of their class who attend an Ohio college or university. These are $5,000 a year scholarships. They're renewable each year for up to 4 years. Funding for the Merit Scholarship means remains a top priority. Last year, to give you some numbers, a whopping 76% of students eligible, those in the top 5% of their high school class, eligible for the scholarship, accepted it and are today attending Ohio colleges and universities. Of the students eligible for the scholarship in this year's senior class, an astounding 87% of them have accepted it and are remaining in Ohio to go to college. Prior to the creation of this scholarship, only about 60% of the top 5% of Ohio students stayed in Ohio for college. Now, because of this scholarship, this year, an additional 1,700 of our top students are remaining in Ohio. 1,700 more than we would have expected. And they will not go to college outside Ohio. That's on top of the 1,000 additional students from last year. Last year, Ellie Baker was among the first Ohio seniors to receive the Merit Scholarship. She graduated as valedictorian from Claymont High School in Tuscarawas County and is currently pursuing her education at Kent State University. Here's what Ellie had to say about the Merit Scholarship, and I quote, "I come from Appalachia, a historically low-income area where paying for college isn't the easiest thing. However, I didn't want that to hold me back from achieving my aspirations." Then there's Ella Szymanski, currently a high school senior at Nordonia High School in Macedonia. Ella recently received our Merit Scholarship for this upcoming academic year and plans to accept it so she can stay in Ohio to study computer science and Spanish. Both Ellie and Ella are with us today. Let's give them a round of applause. We're very proud of both of you. You know, we have so many colleges and universities in Ohio, but one of the biggest complaints that Fran and I have heard over many years from Ohioans, including legislators, is that it's too hard for Ohio students to get into some Ohio campuses. We're going to change that in our budget by guaranteeing admission to the main campus of every state college or university for all Ohio high school students who are in the top 5% of their class. They will be guaranteed admission into those schools. I'm happy to say that Ohio's independent colleges have told us that they have an interest in matching this pledge as well. We also must remain focused on making the college more affordable for Ohio students. That's why our budget includes continued support for the Ohio College Opportunity Grant, or OCOG. It provides financial assistance to students who have the highest levels of financial need. Today, nearly 59,000 students from across Ohio are currently receiving help through OCOG. Helen Huffman, a senior at Cedarville University, is a recipient of this grant. She was considering taking a year off from school to work and save enough money to pay for her senior year. However, because of this grant, she's been able to continue with her classes, and she's expected to graduate in May. She plans to work in Springfield to provide translation services to assist the Haitian Creole immigrant population. Helen, would you please stand? We're proud of you as well. Very much. Work-based learning opportunities can be a core component of a student's academic success. As part of our budget, we're requiring each state institution of higher education, each state school, to implement a meaningful work-based learning program. Ohio has many leaders in work-based learning, including the University of Cincinnati co-op model, which was created over 100 years ago, as well as Miami's Work Plus program on its regional campuses that allows students to earn an essentially debt-free degree with tuition and wages paid for by an employer. I recently sat down with University of Cincinnati students and their leadership to discuss how this type of learning has enhanced their overall academic experience. One student, Zach Sullivan, who graduated from Indian Hill High School, recently completed a vigorous co-op in sales with Western and Southern in Cincinnati. Now Zach, who is expected to graduate in the spring, has already accepted a full-time job in the service and sales department at Western and Southern. Zach, congratulations on your job offer. Please stand so we can give you some applause as well. We need more business experts like Zach, and also more engineers, chemists, data analysts, cybersecurity analysts, software developers, social workers, behavioral therapists, and so many, many more. Our state workforce needs are clear. So now it's time to match those needs with students graduating with the appropriate education and training. Today, we determine the amount of state funding that colleges, our state universities, receive by the number of students completing courses, certificates, and degrees. Our budget takes this to the next logical level by partially funding our state colleges and universities based on actual student outcomes, including how many students get a job after graduation. This will make Ohio the first state in the nation to tie a significant portion of funding for colleges and universities to graduates who are getting jobs. This past year, we lost 3 legendary former Ohio legislative leaders and champions of education and workforce development. House Speaker Joanne Davison, Majority Floor Leader Kirk Schuring, and Senate Minority Leader Ben Espy. They shared a deep love for this state and for our people, and a great optimism about our future. We think about them when we come into this chamber today. You know, working together over the last 6 years, we've had a lot of incredible wins for Ohio. We have every reason also to be optimistic about our future. Yes, our great state is still work in progress, as it is with everything in life. But we can always progress further, especially when it comes to filling the jobs and fully realizing the opportunities that we have created. But we're going to get there. We have the playbook. We have the team. And now together, let's go win. And as we do, let's also remember the words of then Coach Tressel, who reminds us that, and I quote, "Our success is measured not just by wins, but by the legacy we leave behind." And he's so right. That legacy is the future of our great state. And what is it? It's our children. It's our grandchildren. It's our great-grandchildren. It's also what we prioritize, the investments we make, and our commitment to each of the young people who are here with us today. We owe it to them to open all of the awesome possibilities and life-changing opportunities that Ohio has to offer. For they truly are our future. They are our hope for tomorrow, and they will become Ohio's legacy. I thank you all very much. May God bless this great state and the people of Ohio. Thank you.
The chair recognizes President Pro Tem Senator Reineke for a motion.
Mr. President, I move that the Joint Committee adjourn.
Without objection, the Joint Committee is adjourned.